friends, welcome back. Per usual, thank you for tuning in. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Recently traveled to Greece, and let me say, it was nothing short of amazing. The views, the food, the atmosphere, everything was top tier. Let's start with the planning. I did none. I actually used a travel agency called Luxe. I'll pin their logo here. I initially wanted to go solely to Santorini, but my travel coordinator, Ioana, suggested that I start my trip in Athens and then go from there to Santorini. That definitely was a very well appreciated suggestion, and it turned out to be way beyond what I expected. In Athens, we had a hotel located right in town center. The hotel was super cute. It was kind of like a upscale hostel type of feeling. There was easy access to shops, sites, and restaurants on foot from our hotel. And there was also a metro station that was actually nearby as well. But our first day in town, we just walked around, went to a restaurant, and kind of just, rested. We actually only had one full day in Athens, and we did 2 private tours. Both were on foot, and it was a lot of walking on uneven terrain, hills, and even slick surfaces because a lot of their sidewalks are made of marble. And when they get wet, they tend to be a little bit slippery. So the first tour was in the morning, and it consisted of a city tour, complete with food and an experience that was really personal and interesting from start to finish. Our guides were so sweet and really knowledgeable, and they really made for what felt like, just catching up with an old friend during the time of our tour. It gave very much a day on the set filming Housewives. We stopped at a local cafe where we had dessert and coffee to start the tour. We ate at a local restaurant for lunch, and then we went to an ice cream shop. And I will say, if you are an ice cream lover, Athens is the place for you. Second tour ultimately was basically a hike up to Acropolis. It's a long way up, but again, the tour guide, she made it such a wonderful experience. And no matter your fitness level, you can do it. It was a wonderful experience. And even though it was a lot of walking in Athens, it really exceeded my expectations because going in, I honestly didn't know what to expect from the city. So on Saturday, we caught an early morning flight, which I wish was either later in the morning or in the afternoon because, of course, hotel check-ins are not until 3 o'clock. We got lucky with our hotel in Athens. They were able to take us early. But the one in Santorini, we weren't so lucky, and we ended up having to wait about 2 hours for our rooms to be ready. But once we got in, this hotel was amazing. It had views, private bedrooms, private pool, and even a courtyard in our villa. It had 1.5 bathrooms. There was an outdoor overlook with like a bench where you could look and catch the views or the sunrise, the sunset, whichever. There's also a living room and a little like wet bar with a sink for you to, eat in your room comfortably. The excursions that we took were all planned by Luxe Tribes. We had an island tour in Santorini, a helicopter tour, and also a photo shoot. The island tour that we took, the first one, was by car with a tour guide. We saw Black Beach, we saw Red Beach, we actually went to a wine museum that offered a wine tasting. We also went probably corner to corner for the entire island. Red Beach turned out to be a hike, so there was lots of uneven terrain, even like a rickety little guardrail going up and down, but it was really fun where you kind of have to challenge yourself to step outside of your comfort zone to really take in the sights because Santorini was ultimately birthed from a volcano eruption. We also did our photo shoot with the flowing dresses. If you've ever seen anybody who's gone to Greece, they typically do the flowing dresses with the blue domes and the ocean backgrounds. We did that with a professional photographer who picked us up from our hotel, and he had a helper who helped, pose us and help with our dresses because they were enormous and long and just a lot. So we did it early in the morning before all of the tourists get out and, crowd the street. But it was a really fun and awesome experience. We also planned our own excursions outside of what was already pre-planned through an app called Viator, and we did a sunset dinner cruise and horseback riding on the beach, which was painfully awesome. I actually had used the app before when I went to Hawaii last summer, and we planned a lot of our excursions. It's really easy to use. It also lets you know if transportation is provided, which is a plus if you are not renting a car or having a vehicle service. It saves you a little bit too with that as well. We definitely rented an ATV while we were in Santorini to get around, And we saw the island literally from a car, from a boat, and a helicopter, and even driving ourselves, which was a little frightening because the roads are very small and people drive really, really fast over there. We ended up getting lost on our ATV with no phone signal, but all in all, we persevered and I made it back home. I will say that I was surprised that the weather wasn't warmer for it being the first week of June. Most nights and mornings were pretty chilly, and the days were usually no more than like 75 degrees, no humidity. But for me, it was perfect given that we were outside as much as we were, and then we were walking and hiking, so the weather was perfect. The pool and the ocean were pretty cold. Our hotel does have the option to have a heated pool. We even went in the hot springs, which weren't really hot during our dinner cruise, but I flew all the way out there, so I got my ass in, okay? Overall, the trip was outstanding. The agency is definitely one that I will use again for international travel. And it's definitely one that I will recommend to others to use because it really takes the legwork out of making plans. So you literally just have to arrive. Our coordinator sent us text messages every day on WhatsApp about what to expect for the day in terms of what time we needed to be ready for our driver or for our tour guide. And it really takes the stress of planning out of your vacation. They also tailor the itineraries to your liking and your budget, and they also offer payment plans as well. I think my only complaint with them, which I voiced to them, was that the tour in Santorini should have allotted a little bit more time for shopping, for souvenirs and things like that, and food, because it was a 5-hour tour window, but it felt rushed. So the ladies in Athens really set the bar high when it came to tours because they really made it feel like they were here for us. And I wish they would have gave us a heads up in terms of what to expect on the tour, in terms of the amount of walking that we had to do, the uneven terrain, like proper shoes to wear, because you go out there with the wrong thing, you're probably gonna end up with a rolled ankle, busted knee or something, because it's very slick, rocks are shifting a lot. But other than that, the hotels, the coordinator, the excursions, the drivers that we had were all great. And I really would highly recommend, if you're in the market to go on an international trip, that you work with them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope all of the information is useful to you, whether you're planning on traveling to Greece or somewhere else abroad. If you are in search of a travel agency, hopefully you will have as great an experience as I had with them. Again, thank you for watching and happy travels.